Hey everyone, how's it going? In the vast world of candle scents and fragrance oils, how do you know which scents to choose when you're first starting your candle business? What's going to sell? What's not? So, in this video, we'll talk a little bit about some strategies that you may be able to deploy while you're picking fragrance oils to start your company. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I chose the fragrance oils to start my candle company. But in the meantime, please hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm Dominique with Nightlight Candles, and hopefully, I can bring you some information that will help you in your journey as a small business owner today. All right, guys. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story about how I chose my fragrances. And later on, we'll talk about some things that you may want to consider when choosing your fragrances. So when I first started my candle business just a few short months ago, it was October of 2023. So right in the midst of the holiday season, I knew things were going to start picking up. So I went on candlescience.com. That's where I do get a lot of my fragrances, though there are some other options out there that I have become a big fan of. But I went on candlescience.com and I started going through all of their fragrances. But obviously, I can't smell them through the computer. So I really had to just kind of pick a few samples of what I thought that I personally would like, and I just started ordering the 1 ounce bottles because they were the cheapest. Um, and then it was the holiday season, right? So I wanted to start out with holiday scents that fit with the holiday season. So that's what I did. When I got the fragrance oils, I smelled them. Some of them I really loved, and I started testing and making candles with those fragrances. And again, these were all holiday scented candles. Now, what I found out was the cold throw is a lot different sometimes than the hot throw. So, some of the scents I really loved, I did not really like them when they were burning. And again, it's not always about what you personally like, it's about what your customer likes. However, I did not have any customers at this time, so I was basing everything off of me and my wife. So that's how I chose the fragrances that I was going to go with. Secondly, I chose around 10 different scents, which I think was excessive, especially for holiday scents. You do not need that many. My recommendation is picking something or maybe two or three that you really like for the holiday season, and stick with those. Get your feedback from your family. If you do have customers, your customers. Um, but 10 was definitely way too excessive, and I shouldn't have done that many. But I learned from that, and I guess the one benefit that I did receive from having so many was when I did have that first craft and vendor fair. I was able to get very good feedback from my customers and get some really good data points, right? What was selling, what wasn't selling. Uh, I had one fragrance that literally flew off the shelves, and I couldn't keep up with demand. It was that insane. And it's a winter scent, and to this day, it's still my best seller, even as we go into the spring and summer months. It's pretty wild. However, let's get into some things that you may want to consider when choosing your fragrance oils for your scented candles. And the first thing I would say is, who is your target audience, right? Who are you marketing your candles to? You have some people say if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody, right? Do you have a specific age group, gender, etc., that you are marketing to? Admittedly, I did not, right? Um, I started out with a very niche, I guess, candle topic, right? So our company name is Nightlight Candles, and I wanted to do like medieval themed, right? That is a very, very niche market. We have since expanded, and we obviously kept the Nightlight name. However, we've kind of created a more subtleties with that to appeal to more people. But obviously, the people that I am personally trying to appeal to is, uh, and I've gathered this data from my marketing trends, et cetera, and what has worked and what has not. Are females from 34 to 44 years of age. Those are what I found, the numbers that I found um, work the best. So that is what I am kind of marketing to now, right? That is what I found works best at this moment for me. So you are going to have to figure out who you are marketing to and what is working. So a lot of A/B testing, right? And it may take, hey, you posting some ads and seeing how those turn out, look at the statistic on those ads and who is it working for, who is it not working for. When you go to these fairs, who are more, I guess, attracted to your booth. Keep a notepad, keep track of all that stuff. Just write a little note so you don't forget it, right? Obviously, when you're doing these craft and vendors fairs, hey, sometimes things are moving a mile a minute, but when you get a moment, take a breath, go write something down, like a trend that you noticed, and that could help you down the road as you continue to grow. Um, but see what they like. The next thing that you want to consider is your brand identity, right? So, is your brand identity more feminine in nature? Maybe you want to appeal to more, you know, females. Maybe you should have more feminine sense. Are you appealing to a more masculine brand identity? Maybe having more masculine sense, right? It's that simple. Staying on your brand identity, etc. That should help theoretically. And the next thing you want to consider is the fragrance oil companies. There's so many different companies out there that sell fragrance oils, um, and so you have a lot of options, right? Like I told you, I started out with Candle Science. However, I have started branching out, and I am not sponsored by any of these companies at all, so they're not paying me to say this. But again, I'm a big fan of Candle Science and the Flaming Candle. Those are the two that I've grown very fond of, and also Vine Vita. They've worked for me a lot too, so I found a lot of great fragrances there. Again, the way I do things is a little bit different, but again, I've literally started all of this from scratch. Maybe sticking with one company or one or two companies that may be more beneficial. So you get to know, I guess, these companies and get very familiar with them, and kind of what their products are like. Me, I was shooting off at the hip. I didn't know what was good, what wasn't. So I was ordering fragrance oils from a bunch of different companies. But again, you just want to figure out what company, maybe it's a cost issue, maybe it's a quality of fragrance oil difference between these companies. Find out what works best for you. Are you looking for savings? Are you looking for quality? Right? So it's as simple as that. All right. And I think the biggest consideration to make when choosing a fragrance oil is the feedback from your customers, right? So you may start out with a bunch of different fragrances like I did. And when you're at these vendor fairs or wherever you're at, you know, take constructive criticism. It's helping your business, right? You may get comments or hear comments of a certain fragrance that people are just, hey, they're not too fond of or whatever. So note that. So you're like, okay, maybe this isn't as great as maybe I thought it would be, right? So you're going to start producing that, maybe even weeding it out. Um, you may find a scent that people are just absolutely drawn to, like I did, right? So I have a it's one that I created around Christmas time. It's called Winter Night, and it smells just like a Christmas tree, right? And people absolutely love it. I was not prepared for that, right? So when I was making all my candles, I tried to make a certain amount. of each scent. But guess what? They're not all selling at the same clip, right? So there's some of those scents that are still sitting around to this day, and then I have my winter night candles that are selling like hotcakes. So just being prepared. So as I move forward this year, I am making a ton of those candles just in preparation. We now have it in wax melt form. Soon we'll have it in a car diffuser scent, right? Because people love it so much. And when I tell you, it's even selling in the springtime now, and I'm sure it will continue in the summer just because of how popular it's been. Like, I'm not even kidding you with that. So, again, customer feedback is crucial. At my last vendor fair, we like I said, we have different fragrances for each of our products. So candles, wax melts, and car diffusers. Um, and I've had customers come up and said, "Oh, if you let me know if you make this in a car diffuser, this scent in a car diffuser." So and I take note of that, and I write that person down in our system. So whenever I do make that scent, if I do make that scent in that product, I am going to reach out to them directly. Um, because it is something they asked for, and I want them to know that, hey, we are listening, um, and we are here to serve them, right? We're here to serve our customers. So again, take your customer feedback seriously. It can give you a lot of valuable information. All right, guys. So that's some tips and tricks. Again, sorry if it does seem like I'm rambling at times, but all this stuff is truly coming from the heart. I'm not setting a script aside or anything like that. I'm literally giving you honest advice and experiences coming straight from my mind. So if it seems raw and unedited, it is. But that's kind of how I want this to be. I don't want to seem fake or anything like that. So I'm just giving you the real me. I'm being as transparent as humanly possible when it comes to this channel. So hopefully, again, you enjoy this kind of content. I will be making more to hopefully help you or help somebody in the candle business, small candle business field. But again, please like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me out and it helps reach more people. So in the meantime, love you guys. See you next time.